Hey y'all, it's Amanda and this is my Texas Zone 8 garden, and today we're going to be doing 3 different things. We are going to be changing out some LED strip lights on my grow area back here. We're going to be harvesting some chocolate cosmos seeds, and then finally we're going to be potting up some foxglove seedlings. Okay, so it's this shelf. Under this shelf, yes, I've got lights under here and half of them have gone out. So I need to replace them because I love this setup and I want to continue it. So let me show you what's going on. Okay, I use this area mainly for germination. So I germinate my seeds in this area and then I move them over into this shelving unit once they're germinated. And I don't typically like to use this shelf right here because there's too big of a difference between where the seedlings are at and the light's too far away. I love to use this shelf. It's only about 6 inches here, but you can see half my lights have gone out. I'm not sure why or what the issue is, but I am going to go ahead and replace them. So let me show you how I installed these in the first place. Now I've had these for a year, 1 year, 2 years, I don't know. So it did last a while, considering I think I paid around $40-something for it originally. So it did last quite a while considering how much use, because like I said, my lights are on 16 hours a day, except for a few months of the year when I perhaps am not growing anything. Typically in the months of May and June, I'm not really growing very much. So they were here for quite a while and I got quite a bit of use out of them. I like to use these lights specifically for germinating. I don't think they put off enough lumens, which is what you need for getting stuff to grow. I don't think they put off enough lumens for utilizing them to grow on plants longer and further. Let me look under here. Oh man, I'm gonna have to take off the bottom one too. Okay, to be able to access this. I was hoping it would be easier. But it looks like I did the right thing and I screwed the shelf into the brackets. So I need to go ahead and remove this stuff so I can remove the bottom shelf so then I can do the next shelf. This one is loose, that's right. All right. So we'll take this one off first. Move these screws. I think the drill is a little bit of an overkill because these are such small screws, so I'm going to just use a perhaps the issue was an attachment issue over here. All I did is move one thing and it all came back on. Okay, so that seems to be an issue. There's a connection that's loose over here. And the way these are done is they have actual connections. Let me show you what that looks like. So they have these little connection brackets, and all this is in my Amazon storefront. This is what helps you like connect one part to the next. So let's deal with this guy over here. So I think that this connection right here is what's the loose part. See how when I mess with it, it's having issues. Let's see if I can pop this up. And I secured this with hot glue. While I'm messing with this, let's unplug it so I don't electrocute myself. And gosh, I hope I don't cut myself on video. So I'm just using the knife to kind of pry up underneath the hot glue, just to loosen that connection. Just like that. Now I'm not trying to peel this whole thing off. So, I'm trying to remember how I did this connection last time. Oh, okay. There's a little thing that like pops up. And it just allows you to slide out the end of the light. The end of the light has like a sticky on it, like a sticker situation. All right, so now I'm just going to come back through And I'm going to push back in, and you just kind of snap it closed. And then we'll turn it on and see if it works. Seriously. All right, let's go back to the other one that was originally there. I do remember when I put these, that these were a little finicky to like get them to like sit in these like adjustable sockets correctly. Okay, this is the original one. Okay, so we went back to this original connection. Okay, but see how it's like, okay, I think if I'm gentle with it, it's going to be okay. So that means I can go ahead and return the set of lights that I have, which is over here. However, I feel like as soon as I return these lights, this is going to fail again. So I think I'm just going to hold on, and then I'll have it to reinstall if need be. And I had wanted another set of lights anyway, and I'll show you where I was thinking about those. But first thing I'm going to do is I actually use hot glue to glue these connections down. So I'm going to grab my hot glue gun and let's get those secure. So I like Ryobi tools. This is a hot glue gun right here. I will say this hot glue gun is no stinking joke. It gets super, super hot. It's definitely, it's not for like really detailed situations. It's for some hardcore gluing situations. So let me let that heat up. Okay, let's see. So I'm just using a little bit of hot glue to stick these down. There we go. This lights down as we go, and we're going for the top set. Just like that. Perfect. All right, thank you. Okay. So the lights are all three still working in here, which is good. So you can see when coming across, let me show you. So I put my heat mat on this lower one, how much closer my seed starting containers are to the light, which is safer for the seedlings in the long run, because if they germinate and I forget and not paying attention, they're within 4 to 6 inches of the light, and therefore they won't reach or stretch out or become leggy seedlings if I happen to not pay attention or happen to miss when they first germinate. So that's what I love to do with this particular shelf for germinating. And then now the one above it, I typically don't use it as much for germinating unless I put like something to get the seeds up closer. So this works really, really well. Okay, so I didn't get to show you a full setup. I will put a link in my video description below that has the original video on it. And at some point, if these continue to do okay, then I would like to install a set under this particular one, which I think would be really good for, I could put some additional shelves under here for storing stuff like houseplants or plants that are taller and need more space. Like last year, I overwintered my peppers. I brought my peppers inside, so that would work really, really well. I also have a lighting setup underneath my dining room table, and I have my dining room table on lifts, like stilts. That allows me to put larger things under there as well. But if I need to in the future, if these lights continue to do really well and not have any issues, then I'll use this extra set to put under this one to cast light down low again. All right, let's go outside and harvest some chocolate Cosmo seeds. Okay, we're on the side garden and this faces west, and I've got chocolate Cosmos here that are still blooming. They are lovely. They're more of a burgundy tone, but I've actually got 3 plants all nestled in here. Sometimes these come back for me, and sometimes they don't. And I love them, and they're hard to find. So I wanted to come in and I want to harvest some of these seed heads. So what I'm looking for is really dry ones like this. See how nice and dry that is? I don't want ones like this that still have green. because they're not fully developed as yet. So we're just going to go through, there's a bunch of them down here. We're going to go through and harvest some of these real quickly, easily. All right, so I just have a ceramic bowl out here, and I'm just going to go and cut the dried ones off. Hopefully I'm not in y'all's way. Okay, we're inside. Let me prop up this bowl a little bit so you guys can see a little better. I've got my dried pods in here. And basically what I'm looking to do is just come in here and release. So you can see some of the seeds in here. Now, I'm not very good at telling which is a seed and which is a dried petal. So I just keep all of them in here. And when I start these, I'll use a little bit of a different technique in that I'll just spread them all over one large surface of soil, and then I will hand prick out the ones that end up germinating. So we're just going to go through and do that again. And you can see the seeds a little bit better on that one. Do that on each one. You could just leave them attached to the pods if you wanted. This is just easier for me to store if I pull them off. I bet I got at least 50 seeds in here. Some of these are still a little bit moist. I'm just putting those to the side. All right, so the chaff is like the excess petal parts. That's still mixed in here. But when it comes time to start these, I'll show you all the process. But I did want to show you going ahead and harvesting them. So another big goal for me is to harvest more seeds from my own garden. All right, and then I just got a cleared glass jar. We'll grab as much as we can, like that, and then put the rest in. I am going to throw in these other few that haven't quite finished drying. Just throw them in like that, and then I would put the top on, but because I have some that are still finishing dry, I'm going to leave the top open. And we'll go ahead and label this. I went a little too big with this lettering, but we'll use it anyway. I don't want to waste it since I already did it. This is just an old school label maker. This sucker's at least a decade old. Okay. Okay, and like I said, I'm going to leave the lid off, allowing it to continue to dry, which would be really great. And if I'm able to grow the chocolate cosmos, that would be amazing. And I will be much more diligent in collecting the seeds over time because they're a super fun plant, but like I said, they're hard to find. In fact, those 3 plants that are out there were a gift from me from my gardening friend, Kristen, and she had to special order them from Covington's. So you can order them from a nursery. Like I said, you can special order from Covington's if you want. She special ordered them from Covington's and gave me 3 of the plants. So, but if I can now in turn around and start growing them, that would be awesome. We'll have to see. I've never grown the chocolate cosmos from seed before. We'll see. Hopefully they're not too hard. Like I did say, a lot of times they'll overwinter outside, so we'll see how those end up doing. Okay, so next on the list is foxglove. And I have started a whole bunch of foxglove as cool flowers, meaning flowers that I can overwinter outside. I had started them during the summer and brought them outside to plant them out for the fall. I forgot about them and they all died because I didn't water them. So I never got them into the ground. But I love foxglove in my garden because it's so whimsical, so cottage garden. Now, it is a very highly toxic plant, so it's something to remember. Mine's dripping a little bit. I started the Foxy mix and I overseeded in here, so there are lots of little seedlings that need to be separated out. Now, a couple of different things. Working with foxglove is toxic, so you need to wash your hands immediately or utilize gloves. I prefer to just use my bare hands and then wash afterwards. Everything about them is toxic. The roots, the plants, the pollen, everything about them, like leaning down the smell, they're utilized for heart disease, as a medication for heart disease. So you want to make sure you're really careful in utilizing those. But we're going to be potting those up to new containers. So we're going to start with my Burger BM7. And we're going to use some containers that I have saved from when I purchased from nurseries in the past. And we're going to come through and we're going to pull out a whole seed cell. And this one's going to be a little different than what we typically do in that. So I pulled that out, and this has multiple little seedlings in it. Typically I would say I would divide this one out, but they're all so close to each other, so I'm just going to put this one straight into the soil. If I try to separate those, they're going to end up being damaged, and they'll be fine all together like that. But let's see if we can find one that we can separate out. All right, so I've got 3 little seedlings in here. So I'm going to gently just start prying them apart. As careful as possible. All right, so I got 1 little seedling and 2 little seedlings. And each of them will make a couple of blooms. And then I'm just going to put those into a container, just like that. And if I can pry them apart, I'm going to pry them apart. If I can't, then I'm just going to leave them be and hope for the best. And as I'm potting them up, I'm going to be putting them into this 10 by 20 container. And typically I think this holds like 18 plants. And typically these would already be outside overwintering, but it is what it is. It's my fault. Killed them all. So I probably will get these out late winter, early spring, but I'll grow them inside for quite a while. All right, let's knock these out. Okay, I ended up getting 1 tray of 18 and an additional 7, which are in another tray that was partially open. I moved them over. Transplanted really well. Some of them I wasn't able to divide them up. I was afraid it was going to ruin the root system. So next thing I need to do is I do want to fertilize these. And I'm not fertilizing a bunch of my other plants right now, just this set. So what I'm going to do is I'm coming in with my Alaskan fish emulsion. I'm just going to put a little dab in here. Like that's it. Not much at all, because I'm really just doing 1.5 trays. And I'm going to fill this up with water. Okay, let me put my tray in place first before I fill it, because if I fill it now and then I move it, I'm going to spill it everywhere. It's going to smell terrible. Okay, so I've got them right here under the lights. My grow lights are on 16 hours a day to really help these kind of push forward. And I'm filling my tray up really far, because this was all dry soil that I was working with. You can see some of them even float a little bit. And then I do have a few more down here. So I am going to add a little bit of fertilized water to this. Okay, that was a good set of little projects. Basically starting with messing around with my LED strip lights. If they are something you're interested in, you can get them on my Amazon storefront. I use them for a very specific reason, to create these grow shelves. They are not my favorite. I like my traditional other lights that I have, which are also on my Amazon storefront. I like those better. But this serves a good purpose for getting my seeds started, and then I maneuver them to another location. So it works really, really well. So getting that fixed up and working again, then harvesting chocolate cosmos seeds and storing them for, January. I'll start them sometime in January. And then finally potting up all of the Foxglove seedlings that I had to restart because I killed my first set during the summer. It's good. That's some good work. Random things all put together. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you're up to if you are in your planning stage where you're ordering seeds and everything that you're looking for to be fresh and get started for the next spring. As always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Every time you like and comment, it helps grow my channel so much. And if you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment, just drop me an emoji below, letting me know that you made it to the end of the video and that you say hi. And be sure to check me out on my social media outlets, including Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, she's a mad gardener or a decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.